Foundation Repair, the NDOT Highway Safety Office, Roofing Service Company, High Electric, Southeast Community College, Members-Owned Credit Union, Union Bank and Trust, Mosaic, Doane University, A1 Automotive, the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, Platte Valley Equipment, and Supreme Spa and Pool. Now calling all the action from Pinnacle Bank Arena, here's Nick Sainert.
After a brief break, I couldn't hear myself there for a moment, Jay, as we have sent one Class B team on to the title game tomorrow as Scott defeated Crete, a thriller. We're back here at Pinnacle Bank Arena getting ready for semifinal number 2 between the number 2 seed, the Platteview Trojans, and the 6th seed, the York Dukes. Nick Sainert, Jay Foreman alongside. Jay, this is going to be a good one, man. I just hope it lives up to the hype that we saw in the first game.
Yeah, I think, York surprised some people last night with how well they played. Obviously shot the ball. They're known as a defensive team.
Yeah.
And then Platteview, they got the most unstoppable force in the state of Nebraska, and Connor Milliken, and played really well yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see. It's a team with size and strength in York. Platteview has skill.
Yeah.
It's going to be a test of wills, and I think it's going to be an exciting game because one team is going to have to play like the other in order to win.
Yeah, so it's going to be a good one between York and the Platteview Trojans. Let's first start with the starting lineups for the Trojans of Platteview. They come into this one after knocking off the Titans yesterday. Norris just a little too young, a little too inexperienced to handle with this experienced lineup that is the Platteview Trojans. They're going to send a senior forward, 6'1", averaging 7 points per game, number 0, Ezra Stewart. And then we heard about it in the pregame just from Jay, and you'll hear his name all game long. Number 2, the Dort signee, a 6'1" senior, averaging 25 points per game, number 2, Connor Milliken. Number 5, Trey Mosman. Number 10, Alex Draper. And number 40, the big fella, 6'5" sophomore, averaging just shy of 5 points per contest, Ryman Ziebert.
Yeah, it's a pretty good, obviously, team. When you think about Class B, you got one big guy and 4 kind of guards that are 6'1". The one thing about Milliken, he averages 25, 26 points a game. He hit him up for 36 last night.
Yeah.
And he averages 10 rebounds a game. And then you got to think what else he's doing. He has 91 assists, 60 steals, and 21 blocks. I mean, he is a complete player if there ever was one. But you know what he's going to face? He's going to face the biggest and most athletic team that he's faced all year. And so it's going to be interesting to see what type of defensive game plan York has for him, but then what type of offensive game plan York has against a little bit smaller lineup to eliminate the speed differential out on the perimeter.
Now on the other sideline, it's going to be the York Dukes, led by head coach Scott Lamberty, in their 43rd state tournament appearance in school history. Haven't won a state title since 2018, but they also haven't been here since 2019 before their win last night. They knocked off the Scottsbluff Bearcats, who were the 4 seed in yesterday's game. Really good, strong performance by Scott Lamberty's squad. They'll send out the same 5 suspects as they did yesterday. Number 4, a 6'2" senior guard, Garrett Ivey. Number 23, the leading scorer for the York Dukes, averaging 16.5 per game, who had a little bit of a quiet game yesterday, a 6'1" senior, a golfer who's committed to South Dakota to play his college golf. Number 23, Ryan Sievers. Number 31, Ryan Huston. Number 32, Barrett Olson. And then rounding out the starting 5, a 6'4" senior center, averaging just 9 points per game, Austin Finney.
Big physical group, well coached, tough, fast. You got Snodgrass coming off the bench. I'm telling you right now, Garrett Ivey is going to be a big factor in this game. Not only scoring, but defensively, staying out of foul trouble and controlling the pace of the game. I think he was a bigger factor than anybody else yesterday, along with Snodgrass, really dominate on the inside, going against that Scottsbluff offensive firepower. Now, I will tell you this. Now, look, Scottsbluff doesn't have anybody with the skill level of Milliken, but you had a little bit of a kind of a Cliff Notes version last night.
Yeah.
4 scorers that like to shoot, whether it's Harris and all those guys they have at Scottsbluff. So I think it really, if there is a potential upset, it favors York because you kind of face that type of opponent, whereas Platteview hasn't faced anybody like this all year and didn't face anybody like this yesterday. So it's going to be interesting to see because, look, as much as Norris was really young, you're looking at some old, wily, tough veterans over there at York. And you know what they do? They're country boys. They've been throwing hay bales and playing in the backyard. Oh, hey, since they've been little kids and they've been playing together. So these guys, they ain't backing down from anybody. So it's going to be interesting to see how this game goes. They're looking at those guys from Platteview talking about fresh meat.
We've had a
hard fouls. I want blood tonight.
Yeah,
That's what you got to do, Nick.
Yeah, we've had a really good day of semifinal Friday basketball here on the ticket. 2 good C1 games earlier this morning with Carter Longy on the call. Then we sent Scott to the state title just a little while ago, and now we find their counterpart who they're going to play against tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. in just a few moments as we'll tip off from PBA for York and Platteview. Then after this one, we'll have a bit of an intermission. At 6 p.m., we will tip off Class A and turn our attention to that group of teams as Bellevue West goes up against Omaha West Side at 6 p.m. And then at 7:45 in the nightcap, it's the Gretna Dragons going against the Millard North Mustangs. We'll see in Class A if they can kind of break that chord that's the Bellevue West Millard North matchup in the state title that we've become so accustomed to.
All those with Omaha West Side and Bellevue West, they all play summer ball together. Yep. They live in proximity together. Some of them transferred schools, open enrollment, so they've played a lot of basketball with each other and against each other. Yep. But there's no love lost, right?
Nope.
And Bellevue West put that thumping on them. But right now, before we get to this, we got these York Dukes against these Platteview Trojans.
Yep.
It's on like buttered popcorn.
There it is. Butter on popcorn.
No, it's on like buttered popcorn.
Okay.
Okay. So we don't get technical here. Let's go.
We don't enunciate on the radio. We do not. The Platteview Trojans will win the tip. There was even a Nate Brennan sighting earlier today. Yeah. We got to talk to Nate.
Your future brother-in-law, number 23, Severs.
Yeah, for the York Dukes. As we have a 3-ball by Mosman, just short, and the rebound corralled by Hudson with those bright green shoes once again for the second day straight.
Well, it's between him and Troy Mosman from Platteview who have the greener shoes. He's got the Grinches on.
And now we have a Milliken steal and taking away Ezra Stewart. Corrals the loose ball. Quick hands by Connor Milliken. Now right side, here's Mosman on this right wing, top of the key. Back to Mosman in the lane. Floater, no good off to the right. Rebound tipped out. Ezra Stewart will pop the 3 and too strong. Rebound goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Platteview Trojans.
So you see the defensive game plan here for York is to obviously keep a hand or body on Milliken. You know he's going to get some points now. You don't want him to explode for 36, but make everybody else shoot the ball and make shots. But then limit them to one shot. First 2 possessions, they've done a good job.
So now Garrett Ivy, top of the key, Severs, left wing now. This is Barrett Olson. He likes to pop some contested threes.
Big man can shoot threes, the dancing bear.
Now Ryan Severs on the right wing, picks up his dribble, gives it to Garrett Ivy, who is the leading scorer for the York Dukes last night in their win against Scottsbluff. Ivy stops at the elbow, pops the mid-range, no good off to the right side, and Ziebert gets the defensive rebound for Platteview. Up the 4 goes Mosman. Turning on the Jets. Mosman stops at the block. Great defense there by Severs. Top of the key. 3-ball. Good by Alex Draper. And Platteview leads 3-0.
The third option by Draper, a wide open 3, which you'd like to see a little bit from York is a little bit more patience actually on offense. Yeah. We talked about Scott taking too much, but to use their size advantage, patience is the key because you'll get Platteview mixed up in a couple. There he is, Severs. His brother-in-law's in town, Nate Brennan. And he hits the 3. Couldn't buy a bucket last night. He said, you know what, I'm here. He might go off for 36.
It's all because Nathan's here.
That's right. Nate will tell you that as well.
That's all Nate, yeah. So we're not going to ask him that question. Is Connor Milliken in the lane? Floater through contact. Rattles off. He gets his own miss, and the putback is good for Connor Milliken's first 2 points.
The one thing Milliken does, and he doesn't get enough credit for, is he's a great athlete. Like, look how he runs. He's on his tippy toes. And but he missed the shot. He knew he was going to miss it. Up off the floor quick, put it right back up, and he's a strong kid as well.
So Garrett Ivy with it at the top of the key. He'll dribble right side, bounces it to Hudson. Hudson spins at the elbow, working on Draper. Turnaround, no good. Rebound goes to the Platteview Trojans. Up the floor to Ezra Stewart. Stewart in the lane, gets bumped. No whistle. Layup, no good. And Hudson gets the defensive rebound. Jump pass up the floor. Barrett Olson across the timeline. He'll pull up. 3-ball. Just short. Rebound tipped out around and corralled by the Trojans by Ziebert.
See, if I'm York, I like this pace of the game. We're playing a game. Pull up a 3.
Air ball by Alex Draper.
I like it because, one, is you're saving your true ball handler here and Garrett Ivy, and you're giving it to multiple guys. All 4, pretty much all 5 of York's players can handle the ball. You like the pace. You like the shot selection. Now you just got to get to buy a bucket here.
So now here's Garrett Ivy, left side, hands it off to Hudson, spin move. And now he gets it ripped away by Milliken, and Milliken's got an open lane en route to the goal. Layup good off the glass, and it's 7-3. Platteview with the 4-point lead.
One thing you have to do with a defender like Milliken that's going to try to rip at the ball, you got to get him running through screens, get him switched off on it. And when Snodgrass gets in, somebody that can really be strong with the ball, go up through contact. You can't be lax with the ball in the state tournament. Every possession is imperative that you get a good shot.
So now Finney with it on the left side. Garrett Ivy. Ivy, 3-ball on the
there
way.
could have
It
been
was
a foul
deflected
there.
by
There could have
Connor
been a-
Milliken. May have been some contact, but no whistle as Draper will throw cross court to Mosman. Mosman on the right side now dribbles to the top of the key. 4:10 to go. First quarter, 7-3 Platteview over York. Milliken in the lane. Turnaround, fade away. Good for Connor Milliken. He makes that look way too easy.
He's starting off where he finished last night. Started a little slow yesterday, and then he finished on a heater. Pretty efficient score.
Yeah.
Okay, now look. Okay, York see where they're at. They've shown a little bit of they'll be able to adjust yesterday or last night in defensively. Again, when you have a dominant score, this is one thing that Norris didn't do, especially with a young, inexperienced crew. Do something defensively that they haven't seen. A box and one, triangle and two, trap the ball every single time. The more times you get the ball out of his hands, the more pressure you put on the other four scorers. They're capable players, but Milliken is head and shoulders better than everybody on the court. If I'm going to lose, it's got to be by the third option or second option having the game of their life. I am not going to let the most prolific scorer in Class B, and let alone one of the best players we've seen in the last 4 or 5 years, including Hunter Salas, along with Milliken, beat us tonight on this floor, considering the defensive options and the size differential that we could throw at him to kind of offset his scoring ability.
3:57 to go, first quarter. Milliken already has 6 of the Trojans' 9 points here in this one. The other 3 coming on an Alex Draper trifecta. Now Garrett Ivy with a 3, rattles around and out, and a rebound corralled by the Platteview Trojans. Here come the Trojans led by Milliken. Milliken behind the back dribble and throws it into the bench as he thought Ezra Stewart was still on that left wing, but he had cut towards the basket.
It was a good job.
I think he thought Milliken may have pulled
shoot
up.
It. Yeah, and that's what he usually does. But Milliken, obviously being a heads-up player, knew he probably couldn't get off a good shot. Maybe he wanted to get his other teammates involved, and so he tried to dish it off a little bit overzealous on that pass. But it plays in the hand of York. Nerves are out of their system. Now they got to try to get a good shot, try to get something going to the rim. Too much outside play for a big physical team like York.
So now Ivy with it on the left side. He will pass in the near corner. This is Austin Finney. Ziebert daring him to shoot the 3, not even going to look at it. Now Severs in the near quarter, guarded closely by Mosman. Severs in the lane. He has the Duke's lone 3 points in this one. In the lane, Snodgrass puts up the contested shot. No good, but he will go to the line to shoot 2 shots.
That's what you want right there. We're talking about body blows. Again, when you got to think if you're going to equate boxing terms of a Platteview team, kind of like Scotts Bluff, right? They're like the jabbers. They're going to work outside. So how do you eliminate the speed difference? Body blows. Once you're inside, I want to get to the free throw line. I want to get the second chances, offensive rebounds. I want to make this game ugly, scrappy, on the floor. Bodies on the floor, because it'll slow them down over time. And so when you get to the free throw line, you got to make both of them. Snodgrass missed the first one. Let's see if he can hit the second one.
Second one on by Snodgrass is up and good. So it's now 9-4 Platteview over the York Dukes. 3:04 to play first quarter from PBA. Milliken on the cut. Layup off the glass. Good with the foul. Connor Milliken shrugs it off, and now he'll go to the line to shoot one more.
Quick little back cut. That's a Kansas play right there. And so what you have to do defensively, if you're York, if your man is going to pick Milliken's guy and he's not facing the hoop, you cannot chase him because he comes off of those picks so crisp and so tight that when he catches it, he's already turning and going to the hoop. He's strong enough. And one thing he has, what we haven't talked about, he has pretty good hang time. So for being a legit 6'1", knowing how to get it off the backboard, he can hang and wait for you to kind of, go back down to the ground. Then he's able to finish it and finish an and one. He has 9 points already.
I'll say Milliken with 9 points in this one already. 2:55 to go in the first quarter. We saw J.J. Farron have 15 in the first quarter, and now Barrett Olson.
Barrett Olson, the dancing
up.
bear. It's not Barrett Olson. Dancing bear, Barrett Olson.
Okay.
Transition 3, North Carolina, secondary break. Nobody wants to guard you. Hand down, man down. Mama, there goes that man.
So now here is Milliken, top of the key, dumps it out. 3-ball, Draper for his second one, no good. Offensive board, Milliken, layup good. Milliken's
right
got
there.
11.
If I'm York, that's exactly what we wanted. What we didn't do is essentially get the defensive rebound. So that's on us. You can't give a team like Platteview, especially with Milliken, a second chance at points. That's a foul.
That needs to be a foul on Milliken, but instead they're going to say that it was a clean swipe of the basketball turnover. I said they're going to say it was Mosman in the lane, and there's a foul called on, I believe that's going to be on Hudson this time. His first.
This is up to Coach Lamberty right here to go right. Lamberty to go to start talking to the ref right there, where you talk about what happened down here to what you called down here or down in their end. It has to. All you want is continuity. You don't care if it's ticky tack. You don't care if it's a roughhouse game. You want it to be called both ways.
Three ball Mosman, good, and he looks back at the York Duke bench.
That's huge right there. You missed an opportunity, a shooting foul. Now you give up 3. That's a 5-point swing.
So now Garrett Ivy with it on the top of the key, hands it off. Leighton Snodgrass, right side. Barrett Olson gets a screen left from Houston. Now Garrett Ivy in the far side. Ivy dribbling around, kicks it back out, pass deflected by Milliken, and now Milliken's going to get fouled by Houston, and that's going to be the second on him.
Here comes Severs right here. York has to do a good job of getting control of themselves. Right now they're playing in a hurry. They're not playing fast. They're a little bit out of sorts, per se. They get in rhythm, then they get out of rhythm. They need to start putting together good defensive possessions and offensive possessions, and they'll get back in this game.
1:35 to play, first quarter, 17-7. The Platteview Trojans ahead on York in the lane. That should be a charge, and it is.
Good job. See, you look just like the Nebraska Huskers. You don't need shot blockers to defend the hoop. You're in good defensive positions. Guys buy into the defensive side of the ball for charges. It's a good job by York kind of stopping the momentum, because you could see that the Platteview Trojans were starting to get cranked up and try to maybe put this game away early, considering that they have a 10-point lead at the end of the first quarter with 1:28 left.
Ezra Stewart got called for the foul. That's going to be his second now. That's both team fouls on Platteview, charged to Stewart's. Now York with it. Left side here. Severs inside on the block. Snodgrass working on Siebert. Gets caught. Now Severs wide open lane to the hoop.
Good cut right there. Good job. Severs making an adjustment from last night.
Yeah.
Played a little bit too much on the perimeter. Hit the 3, and then obviously came off a pick, and then he went to the hoop as well.
Milliken dumps it out. Mosman for another 3 ball on the way. It's good. And it's a 20-9 lead for the Platteview Trojans. Off the assist by Connor Milliken. Trey Mosman got that one to fall. Barrett Olson to answer with his 3, way off to the right, and Milliken clears the boards for Platteview, and he'll bring it across the timeline with Platteview working left to right. Milliken gets it knocked out of bounds. Last touch by York. It'll be Platteview basketball. I'm not going to say anything, Jay.
Yeah.
That one looked like it may have been off Milliken, but I'm not going to say anything, Jay.
They don't have anything against the replay.
No.
The one thing
if they did, they probably wouldn't show it.
Yeah. The one thing York has to do is make sure they stay within themselves. Don't try to get into
now we have a body foul.
A run and gun match with Platteview. They're skilled, and you see Mosman here. He's hit a couple threes. So when you think of Milliken, his partner's crime is Mosman. So you got to make sure that you keep your eyes on both of those two, so they can get hot together, and the game can be over rather quickly.
So now Milliken gets the inbound pass. 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. 20-9. Platteview with the 11-point lead. 22 on the clock. Milliken and company will just hold for the final shot. I'd be shocked if anybody but Milliken takes this final shot in the first quarter. Milliken with 11 points here in the first stanza. So now Milliken goes to work with 10 seconds. Milliken in the lane, layup, off the glass and good for Connor Milliken with 5 on the game clock. Looking to inbound, Mosman takes it away. It goes out of bounds. Last touch by the York Dukes. It'll go to Platteview.
Yeah, the Platteview Trojans have came out with a better energy and execution than they had yesterday. Maybe, obviously adjustment. Maybe their coach got after them, that they didn't start very fast, and against a young Norris team. You see them with their energy, execution, have got the York Dukes on the ropes right now.
So sideline inbound, 1.3 on the clock. They'll inbound at Milliken in the lane at the horn. It gets blocked by Austin Finney. Good contest at the rim by Austin Finney as Milliken took a tumble. And at the end of the first quarter, your score, the Platteview Trojans 22, the York Dukes 9. The second quarter beginning in moments right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting wefixbasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Now back to high school basketball on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman back with you from Pinnacle Bank Arena. Platteview leads 22-9 against the York Dukes. York with the little upset win yesterday over the Scottsbluff Bearcats. That was a 6-3 upset. Now here, Platteview, after beating the 7-seed Norris Titans yesterday, up by 13 over the 6-seed York.
Yeah.
So York gets the basketball to begin things here in the second. It'll be Ivy, Olson, Sievers, Finney, and Snodgrass out there for head coach Scott Lamberty. Finney has on the far right side, pass intercepted for a moment, and now that's going to be over and back for Garrett Ivy. If that's one of those, I know it's hard in that moment, but that's one of those maybe you allow to go into the backcourt,
and you
kind of shield
Milliken.
Milliken from getting that basketball there, just so you don't have to tiptoe against that line with all your momentum carrying you over into the backcourt.
You see Milliken over there shooting the lanes right now. He's prime time set up for a back pick, and then you got to cut off of that as well.
So now pass deflected, it'll go out of bounds. Last touch by York. Doesn't seem like York's coaching staff necessarily agrees, but it will be Platteview basketball with 7:38 to go here in the second.
2 extra possessions that it seemed like didn't go York's way, so they got to make sure that they're watching everything because this game is far from over.
So now right side, here is Draper with it. They're running Milliken away from the ball. Now to Mosman on the left wing. Back inside, great find by Mosman to Alex Draper right on the doorstep of the bucket. It's 24-9 Trojans.
Right, pretty good offensive execution right there by Platteview. They're going to force York to execute themselves.
Sievers in the lane, layup off the back iron, no good. Rebound to Milliken, bodies on the floor. We have a jump ball. Possession arrow will go to Platteview.
Good drive, just a little bit hard off the back iron. So New York has got to bear down here defensively. And, look, Platteview is on a heater. Everybody's hitting. They're really crisp in their offensive schemes. And everybody's playing really, really well together. The spacing on the court is way better than yesterday. Yeah. So they have to do a really good job trying to play a little defense there. Good defensive possession there by Sievers. You saw Milliken try to dump it off to their big man. He got his hand in there. So a little bit more activity here, for York on Dukes as far as active hands, active feet. Try to cause some confusion for the Platteview Trojans.
Inbound underneath their own bucket for Platteview. They'll throw it just out top to the safety net. Milliken on the perimeter. 6:48 to play to Mosman. 3 ball from the near corner. Connects.
Yeah, he's got 3. Look, when you think of him and Milliken, they're both on fire. Yeah. They're a hard team to beat when you got everybody, all 5 starters, really playing well.
And we have a York Duke timeout with 6:37 to go in the second quarter. We'll take a 60-second timeout as well. We'll be right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Basketball fans know assists are crucial to winning. The skill of setting up others is an art, and one Nebraskan team that takes art to a new level is Platte Valley Equipment. Their team always sets you up for land care success with sound advice and John Deere equipment. Platte Valley also always delivers low monthly payments. That's one assist, that's a slam dunk. Visit PlatteValleyEquipment.com today, proud sponsor of the 2023 NSAA Boys and Girls High School State Basketball Tournament.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doane isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doane University today at doane.edu.
Now back to high school basketball on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
York basketball with 6:23 to go here in the second quarter. Sievers at the elbow, kicks it out. 3 ball on the way. Good
from
number
there
3,
by York, right?
Number 3, Riley Clark. gets his trifecta to go. It's 27-12, back to a 15-point ball game with just over 6 to play here in the first half. Mosman for his fourth three, and it banks it in.
Banked it in. You know, one thing about Mosman, he's acting like he really tried to make it, though. I like him.
Yeah. Now a pocket pick by Milliken. He drives through defender's body on the floor. He dumps it off to Mosman. Mosman on the right side, working on Houston. Layup good. It's 32-12.
Mosman with 14 points, doing his best Milliken act. Both of them are on a heater. Both of them are in double digits already and scored majority of the 32 points. So offensive explosion here by Platteview.
Houston dumps it off to Sievers, who gives it back to Houston. Houston on the right side. Looking, throws the top of the key. Riley Clark with it. Now back to Houston on the right wing. Barrett Olson cuts through. Now Houston drives on the left side lane, gets doubled. Now gets it taken away, and there's going to be a foul called on Connor Milliken, as Milliken will pick up his first.
Yeah, he's doing that. He's not really guarding his man, and he's faking like he's going to his man. Then he's pickpocketing him. He's done it 3 times already. 4th time he got caught by the refs. But they got a 20-point lead, so you're playing – a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more freely. York has got to continue to try to battle this way back and hope this Platteview team slows down and gets a little bit cool from the field.
So inbound to Austin Finney, top of the key. Now right side Sievers. He'll pull it. That's a long 2. It rattles out. And an offensive rebound for Finney. And there's going to be a foul called on Platteview. So that's going to be the 4th team foul on the Trojans. Foul goes on Cale Wickman, number 11. I like that call.
Yeah, good hard play there by Finney. Good hard play there by Platteview. And
now a mid-range jumper. Houston, no good. Finney with another rebound offensively. Sievers gets bumped. Sievers in the lane off the glass, and it falls for Ryan Sievers. 32-14, 4:50 to go in the second quarter. The Trojans lead the Dukes. Right side, now top of the key, left side. Mosman with a couple 3 balls. Passes it off to Draper. Wickman to Milliken at the top of the key. Milliken crosses over, kicks it out. Mosman with a wide open 3 ball. Just a little short, and Barrett Olson cleans up the miss.
It must be Friday because there's the two games that I've been here. See offensive explosion by 2 guards.
So now right side, top of the key. This is Riley Clark 3 ball. That's going to be well short. Up front iron, and Milliken grabs the miss. So he'll bring it across the timeline. 3-on-4. Milliken pulls up from 3. Got it for Connor Milliken. 35-14. It's a 21-point lead in favor of the Platteview Trojans, and Connor Milliken already putting on a show a quarter and a half into this one. Olson's calls for a screen left. He uses it. He does not use it. Goes right instead. Now Olson in the lane. Foul and the bucket.
A 3-pointer the old-fashioned way potentially by Big Daddy Olson. That's what York, you'd like to see them do earlier in the game, right? Mm-hmm. Yes, Platteview, every player on Platteview that started is hitting. But what you have to do is stick to your game plan, hoping and assuming they're going to cool off, pound it inside, pick and choose when you shoot threes, and stay to the same game plan you had yesterday because they've been in the same position. Maybe not this deficit, obviously, as yesterday being down 19 points. To Scotts Bluff, but they were down by double digits and they battled their way back.
Free throw off back iron, just a little strong, and Milliken skies high for the rebound. 3:48 to play in the second quarter. Milliken at the top of the key near the logo. Now Milliken passes it left side. Ezra Stewart, who's back into the game after picking up 2 fouls in the first period. Mosman now hands it off. Milliken in the lane. Milliken gets bumped. No shot. That's going to be the 5th team foul on the York Dukes, so an inbound underneath the bucket for Platteview coming up here in a moment.
Platteview is hitting on all cylinders offensively. They look like a way different offensive team from yesterday. Obviously, Milliken and all his compadres are hitting right now. Now you get an and one.
No shot. As Ryman Ziebert goes in strong, gets bumped on the body. No shot, Foul goes on number 10, Leighton Snodgrass.
Draper, Mossman, Milliken are all firing on all cylinders. Yeah. Stewart as well. And they're a hard team to stop when they're playing this well.
Inbound pass out top to Ezra Stewart. Now he'll give it to Milliken on the logo. Left side, this is Draper. Mosman drives left side of the lane, lost the basketball for a moment, got it saved to Draper. Now left side, Ezra Stewart with 3:15 to go, 35-16. Trojans out in front of the York Dukes. Milliken with it. Takes the screen right. Now Milliken kicks it back left. Jump pass. Mosman. Shot fake. Got the Barrett Olson jumper. And now the rebound corralled by the York Dukes off the miss. Up the floor. Great vision up the floor to Ryan Sievers. Sievers 3-ball on the way. Bounces over the backboard. No good. And it will be Platteview basketball up by 19.
If I'm York, I'm thinking about, okay, can we get this thing down close to 12 before halftime? Come out, and then the second half is anybody's game, because you see slowly but surely Platteview Trojans are starting to cool off.
Oh, no, and Milliken's lost, and Milliken drains
just like
the
I said,
three.
they slowed down. Milliken heats them right back up.
And we have a Scott Lamberty timeout for the York Dukes. I'm not sure how you could lose track of number 2 for Platteview, Connor Milliken, but somebody did, and he was wide open on the right wing, and I'm saying everybody was on the left side of the lane, and he was on the right wing. I mean, it was not
like
even
one
close.
of those trick plays that the guard from New Orleans Pelicans does, where he's on one side and tries to blend in right there. But Milliken is the best player in Class B. You know, wherever he's at, your defense should be. Everybody should have been where he's at, and somebody else should have been open.
We'll go ahead and, or I guess we'll keep it right here. 2:42 to go in the second quarter. It's 38-16. Platteview up by 22 on the York Dukes here in the Class B semifinal. The winner of this one gets the Scott Catholic Skyhawks tomorrow at 1 p.m. So here we go. Right side, Austin Finney with it on the far corner. Finney, Snodgrass, Olson, Sievers, and Ivy, the 5 out there for York. Sievers driving left side, gets knocked out of his hands. It'll be last touch by the Platteview Trojans. I think they might have gotten that one wrong as well, Jay, as that one seemed to go off the knee of Sievers after it was knocked out of his
There's a lot of hand checking that's been going on in this game that's been unnoticed, and so it's kind of affecting the ball handling.
So now Finney will try a 3, just a little strong. Rebound corralled by Leighton Snodgrass. Put back. It's no good. Another board. Finney, third time's a charm for Austin Finney. So it's back to just a 20-point deficit. Platteview with the lead, 38-18 over the York Dukes. 2:08 to play, second quarter. They'll hand it off Milliken. Milliken pull up, fade in, off back iron. That would have been something crazy. Not surprising if he would have made it, but it was on target. I thought it was going in for a moment.
Every time he shoots it, every shot that he has, it looks like it's going in.
I thought he was going to make it for a moment.
These are all shots that I know he looked like he's practiced for quite some time, and everything looks like it's going, especially on a night like tonight where he is definitely feeling it.
38-18. Under 2 minutes to go here in the first half. Platteview, the 2 seed, up on the 6 seed, York. Sievers, top of the key. Ivy with it near the logo, guarded by Milliken. Now right side, Barrett Olson with it. He's pressed by Ezra Stewart. Now Finney to Ivy on the left wing. He calls for a screen, uses it. Ivy stepping around, tiptoeing around the perimeter. Now right side, Sievers, guarded by Draper. Picked up his dribble, tried to get it inside to Barrett Olson. Good defense, though, by Draper on Sievers. Now Finney thought about trying them 3 once again. Now he'll take a couple dribbles. Floater good by Austin Finney. Smart shot by Austin Finney.
Good offensive series there for York, right? He patient, got it into one of their better scores. One power dribble, little mini floater right there.
So now Milliken lost the basketball for a moment, gets a shot blocked, kicks it out. Mosman 3, good.
Wow.
I mean,
you can't.
How do you stop that, Jake?
I mean, listen here. That was good defense, block shot, kick it out. Mosman has 4 threes right now. I mean, if you think about what they're doing offensively, it's not even close to what they did last night against Norris. Good play by Snodgrass right there, diving in, getting a putback.
So Leighton Snodgrass makes it a 19-point Platteview Trojan lead. 46 seconds on the game clock. I would expect Connor Milliken to stand near that timeline, ready to just milk this one out here, as he is the one guy that we've seen hit the shot from 30 feet away. At the horn after wasting time off in the non-shot clock games. So here's Milliken getting chased around by Sievers. Milliken with 24 on the game clock, still getting chased around.
They should double team him.
Yeah, they should. But the problem is who do you want to leave open?
Right, yeah.
So now Milliken's going to get fouled by Sievers. That's going to put Milliken at the line for 1-1.
Well, I guess the good thing is if you're York, you get the ball back. But really, if you knew that Milliken was going to dribble the ball around like most of Class B teams for 35, 45 seconds, you'd like to call a timeout and get somebody else in there so you don't burn out Sievers.
So here we are, Connor Milliken. Free throw good for Milliken. 42-22. Platteview with a 20-point lead. Make it 21 after the 2 Milliken free throws. They'll inbound it here to Sievers. 15 seconds to go here in quarter number 2. Sievers across the timeline, working on Mosman. Now right side Sievers steps back on the perimeter. 5 seconds, 3 ball on the way. Off target, no good. Mosman with the half-court heave. Off the top of the backboard.
The way they shot, I wouldn't be surprised if that went in.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. But at the end of the first half, what an impressive first 2 quarters by the Platteview Trojans. And more importantly, Connor Milliken and Mosman as Platteview takes a 43-22 lead into the locker room here in the Class B semifinal. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll have some thoughts from the first half and update you on some of the scoring totals right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Hey, Joe, check out my new ride. Pretty awesome, huh?
Whoa, that's a sweet convertible. You didn't, win this on a game show, right?
Nope, this is all me and my pals at Members Own Credit Union.
Oh, yeah, they're the people with the great auto loan rates.
And right now, everyone who transfers or gets a new auto loan has the chance to win a $1,000 gas gift card, too.
Well, you know what this means.
Road trip! Fuel your adventure with an auto loan from Members Own. Restrictions apply. Go to membersowncu.org for details.
What does continuing education mean to you? At Southeast Community College, it means helping you advance. Whether that's a certification to help your current career or learning an entirely new career in healthcare, trades and industry, or computers and technology, SCC can help you take the next step. Financial assistance is available too. Learn more about our continuing ed classes at southeast.edu/continuing education. SCC, your path to personal and professional development.
Hi everyone, Kendall Warnock with A1 Automotive in downtown Lincoln. If you're looking for an automotive repair facility you can genuinely trust, we would be grateful for the opportunity to earn your business repairing your vehicle. We have ASE master technicians and qualified to work on a variety of vehicles from Hondas to Porsches, Jaguars to Toyotas, and Chevrolets to Fords. We pride ourselves on customer service and relationships, and we would be grateful for the opportunity to serve you. Give us a call at 402-477-4660. A1 Automotive, always honest answers.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Spring is here. Time to make your backyard a vacation spot all year long. Above grounds as low as $27 per month. Stealth semi-in-ground pool starting at $99.99. Cash and carry hot tubs like Celtic and Pure Spa as low as $43 per month with approved credit. Luxury spas from Bullfrog, Wellness, and Stealth starting at $73.99. In-grounds from $39.99. Spring is here. SupremeSpaAndPool.com.
High school basketball fans, take a trip over to the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame while you're in town for state hoops. Admission is free, and it's a great way to learn about some of the greatest athletes and teams to come out of the state, from recently to over 100 years ago in all sports. Learn more about names like Gale Sayers, Johnny Rogers, Bob Gibson, Tom Osborne, and more. Open Wednesday through Friday from 1 to 4 p.m. It's the Nebraska High School Sports Hall of Fame, just north of Haymarket Park at 500 Charleston Street.
At Mosaic, we build a caring company for the people we serve in our workforce. You can be a part of it. Mosaic supports people with intellectual and developmental disabilities and other diverse needs to choose where they live, with whom they live, and how they spend their days. That is empowering. Do you know someone who could use that type of support? You could become a shared living provider and work from home, or help support people to be active in the community. To learn more, visit mosaicinfo.org. That's MOSAICINFO.org.
Hosmer tries to dump it into center field, and it will drop. Francoeur scores. The Royals go in front 1-0. They pitch to him.
Now back to high school basketball on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
At the break, the score 43-22. Platteview on top of the York Dukes. Connor Milliken, Jay Foreman, with 21 points at the break. And I just found this out. He's doing it with a partial meniscus tear. He's doing this with a partial meniscus tear. He needs surgery after the end of the season.
You wonder what he'd be doing with a full meniscus and not being slowed down a little bit. If he has a partial meniscus tear, I'd like to have that my whole career. He looks really explosive, quick. Hasn't changed his mindset for the game or his mind of the game. He's hitting. Most of us hitting. Stewart's hitting. Yeah. They're a hard team to guard right now. They have 43 points at half. They went through a little bit of lull, then he heated up right before the end of the half. They're playing together, defensive intensity. They look like a totally different team after being scared a little bit by the North Titans yesterday.
I mean, the Platteview has done, pretty much everything really, really well. Strong defensive performance. York hasn't been able to get a whole lot of high-quality shots, and when they haven't been able to hit them.
Right.
Ryan Sievers with a couple points in this one, but nowhere near his average on what he would be in a normal game of 16.5 points per game. I mean, if you're York, you look up at the scoreboard, you're in the state semifinal.
Right.
And right now, through those first two quarters, you were overmatched. I mean, there's no other way to put it.
Right.
I mean, what kind of mentality do you have? If you're head coach Scott Lamberty, what do you tell your guys?
Number one, first of all, look, sometimes you're, a team that you're playing is hot. We saw it against, West Side against East in the quarterfinals against the Class A. So what you have to do the second half, you have to have a goal, what point differential that you want at the end of the third quarter. You got to up your intensity. You have to change something up on offensively to become more effective and get the guys that have made shots yesterday, easier looks. Now, whether it's, moving without the ball, getting some shots where you're crashing in, you're going to have to take some chances because right now, playing conservative, it doesn't really matter what you're doing. So you got to expect Platteview is going to keep, being able to score. Yeah. But you have to make it harder on them, what they did at times, trying to keeping them to one shot, especially early in the game. I'm going to tell you what broke the game open is when Alex Draper hit that three. Yeah. They remember Platteview came out and missed their first, 3 or 4 shots. He hit the three, kind of, got them going. And then obviously Milliken and Mosman really took off from there, and Ezra Stewart as well. So I would try to get stuff going to the hoop. But, one thing that Platteview is doing is going for steals. They're playing really, really loosely. I try to spread the court out, give you some angles for Sievers to get to the hoop, Snodgrass as well, Olsen and some of those guys. Getting going some to the hoop, and then get more shots at the free throw line, making him to chip away at that lead.
I mean, just a really, really impressive. I would also say that Milliken's defensive performance has been a big reason why Platteview found success in that first.
Well, even when he missed shots, he went in there. I think he's only missed 2 shots. Well, even when he missed, he went in there and got the rebound and put it right back. So he's an effective defensive player, and they're well coached because when they jump, even though they have 4 guys 6'1", they stay straight up in the air, and so they go and they're a hard team to score against, a hard team to defend, and he's a all around player. He's a great mind for the game, assisting the ball, setting up teammates. He actually did it almost too much, where he was going to shoot, threw it out of bounds. He can defend, he can rebound, he can score, he can shoot. He's going to be a really good player to watch in the years to come at college.
Once again, your halftime score, Platteview leads this one by 21 points, 43-22 over the York Dukes. When we come back, it's time for the third quarter right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Your neighborhood is more than blocks of buildings. It's the people who live there that make it special. At Union Bank and Trust, we're not just creating home loans, we're making neighbors. We're not just small business lenders, we're small business shoppers. We don't just live in your community, we help you build it. Because our people are your people. Visit ubt.com/neighbor to learn more. Union Bank and Trust, member FDIC.
Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. It's soul food right here in Lincoln. Ribs, wings, catfish, coleslaw, cornbread, grits. I mean, I'd say it's food like your grandma used to make, but my grandma never made food like that. If you haven't already, you've got to give it a try. Check out their location across from South Point at 27th and Pine Lake, or find their food truck at events all over town, or visit them online at maryellens.com to see the full menu. Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. Let them fix you a plate.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
Now back to high school basketball on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It's time to start the second half of play from the Class B semifinal. A matchup with Scott awaits the winner of this one, and as of right now, it looks like it's going to be Platteview, and the band is currently playing while we're playing basketball.
They gotta get their whole song in.
Yeah, they gotta stop this here, but they're gonna call a foul. Nobody's stopping the band playing, and now this is not an NBA game. This is we cannot have music going on while we play. But it was a foul down low away from the balls. But now here we are as Severs drives into the lane, floater rattles around the front rim and down. It's a 43-24 basketball game in favor of Platteview.
It was a good job by York coming out and trying to establish themselves, especially with their best player, Severs.
Yeah.
Trying to get something going to the hoop.
So now far right side here is Ezra Stewart. Pass deflected, taken away by Garrett Ivy. A little bit of action here for York early on. They had a layup on the floater by Ryan Severs just a moment ago. It's now a 19-point deficit. Ivy to Barrett Olson. 3-ball on the way. Off to the left, no good. And Siebert gets the defensive rebound for the Platteview Trojans.
Platteview does a really good job for not being the biggest team. They really do a good job of boxing out and rebounding.
So now here's Mosman. He had 5 3-pointers in that first half of play. Milliken with 21 points, cuts back, floater, good for Connor Milliken, right in front of the bucket.
He's big, strong, especially up top, big barrel-chested, can get up off the floor. Like I said, his hang time is impeccable, so then therefore he's able to get efficient shots around the hoop.
So now Garrett Ivy with it, hands it to Barrett Olson, who gives it right back to Garrett Ivy, and he'll bounce it near the logo. Right side, Austin Finney to Ivy on the left wing. Ivy to Severs. Severs drives baseline, going up on Siebert. Gets it to fall. It's 45-26. Now up the floor. Here's Draper to Ezra Stewart. Left side, Siebert to Milliken on the left wing. Milliken passes right to Draper to Mosman. On the way for three, no good. And Finney collects the miss. Back the other way we go with the York Dukes.
Contested three there by Mosman. That's probably a shot that the coach from Platteview doesn't want.
Now here's Austin Finney rattles home the three. It's 45-29, a 16-point ball game. So Milliken and Platteview still looking for their first points of the second half. Here's Draper, gets it to Milliken. Milliken to Draper. 3-ball from the top of the key. Good for Alex Draper.
When you have three guys hitting it like that, Coach Brodsky is going to get these guys tuned up a little bit because, defensively, they haven't played with the same type of intensity. But I like York having a goal and playing with pride coming out of halftime, saying, hey, look, we're not just going to lay down. And then even more that a young lady
forgot her baton.
Left her baton and jacket.
Yeah.
Hopefully you
She might need that baton.
Yeah, hopefully
That's part of her act. She needs it.
Well, you might get charged by the school system if you don't pull it, bring it back.
Yeah, it needs the baton. All right, so 5:47 to go, third quarter. She's coming out looking for it. She's like, "Where's my third baton? Where's my jacket? I have no clue where it's at." You left it on the Pinnacle Bank Arena floor. There it is. She's going to retrieve it. She's starting to jog, a little speed walking, and there she has it. It's been reunited with the rightful owner.
That's good.
It's a good story all around. Good story all around.
It's just like losing your cell phone. You want to you got good people out there, good Samaritans.
So 5:47 to go in the third quarter. 48-29. Platteview leads by 19 over the York Dukes. After the Alex Draper 3 and the Platteview timeout, it's going to be Ryan Sievers bringing it across the timeline. Sievers bounces it left side to Barrett Olson. Olson lost control of the basketball, and that's a little handle there behind the back by the big fella. Spins around in the lane. Left-handed floater, no good. Blocked by Milliken. Saves it in bounds all the way up the floor to Mosman. Layup good. What a find by Connor Milliken from the baseline to throw it all the way a half-court pass right in stride to Mosman as Sievers trying to navigate his way through. Gets it to Ivy. Ivy in the lane. Kicks it out. Finney. He just hit a three a moment ago. Spin move. Ivy. Shot fake. Free throw line jumper. Bounces around and out. And the offensive rebound, Houston, put back no good. Olsen tries again, and that time they connect.
Good job by York staying at it. Obviously, one thing to play before you mentioned Milliken, one is to get the rebound. First of all, he had to block, get the rebound, and then he had to balance it, even with a partially torn meniscus to throw it to his partner in crime.
A missed shot on the Platteview end gets York the basketball right back. Ivy on it with the right side. Working on Milliken. Now hands it off. Three ball. Ryan Sievers. Good for Ryan Sievers. And it's a 16-point ball game once again in favor of Platteview.
Like I said, York, you ask what they have to play for. You have a goal at the end of the third quarter. What do you want to be down at? They're down by 16. They got 4 minutes and 23 seconds left. They got to keep playing defense. This Platteview offense is hitting on all cylinders, but it doesn't mean you just lay down and let them have an open gym shooting session.
It's now left side. Here's Alex Draper with it. Bounces it to the near corner. Back to Draper on the left side to Milliken. He'll dribble top of the key near the logo. Milliken, 21 points in that first half for Platteview. Milliken drives on the left side. Spin move, fadeaway jumper. No good. May have gotten fouled. Offensive rebound. Mosman finds Draper in the near corner. Wide open three ball. Connects, and he looks at the student section.
Wow. That's a great job by Mosman there to tip the ball to himself. Eyes up, ready to distribute the ball. Hits Draper over there. Wide open three, nothing but net.
Now Sievers hesitates. Step back three. Oh, that had a good line on it, but now offensive rebound to Finney, to Houston on the left wing inside Olsen, that's Sievers, layup good.
A little bit more activity by York is paying off. Now, look, at the end of the day, even though they're playing defense, this Platteview offense, especially from three and execution-wise, this might be one of the best and most efficient offensive games that they've played in a long time.
Milliken throws up a shot, misses it. Here is Sievers coming back the other way now. Sievers crossing over into Mosman's face. Layup no good. Offensive board Sievers, and he's going to be fouled by Connor Milliken.
Yeah.
And York having a little bit of life here, although they're down 17. They were down 22 at half.
Right. Yeah. Look, like I said, you have a goal. There's 3 minutes left. You got to play with constant energy. You got to understand this offense at Platteview is not going to stop. But that doesn't mean you stop. I think they've played with more energy, more authority in the beginning of the second half, and it's paying off for them.
So now inbound pass to Leighton Snodgrass. Ivy tracks down the loose basketball in the backcourt. He is matched up with Mosman. Now Ivy drives, floater over the top of Ziebert, misses it just a little short.
Yep.
And Milliken cleans up the miss.
The one thing about York this second half, they've been getting good shots. They just have not hit, especially with the –
oh, no. And Draper with another three.
He has 5 threes. Mossman has 5 threes. Milliken at least has 3 or 4. This is a 3-point barrage here by the Platteview Trojans.
So now here we are with Ryan Sievers. Crosses over. Sievers kicks it out to Snodgrass on the left wing. Top of the key, Austin Finney. Finney looking for somebody. Now crosses over in the lane. Floater off the back iron, and it connects.
Little jump stop there, making it in the middle of the lane. When you look at the way York's playing in the second half, I would tell you that they're playing better than Platteview, but Platteview is not missing.
Milliken in the lane gets fouled with the bucket, and Milliken goes to the line with one more to go.
That looked like a pretty good defensive effort there by Finney. Going straight up. Milliken is able to go in the
got
air.
him with the lower part of the body.
Right, yeah. Go in, but he absorbs the punishment, stays in the air. Good soft touch around the rim, though, for a guard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, the things that he's doing right now, and I'm sure, Coach Brodsky would tell you, will work at the next level in the sense of being able to score at 3 or 4 different levels all over the court, reading defenses and playing good defense and being quick off the ball.
Now Barrett Olson's shot is rejected cleanly by Ezra Stewart. Back the other way we go. Mosman in on the right side. Kicks it to Connor Milliken. Milliken drives, and he's going to be fouled intentionally, or not intentional. It's not going to call it intentional, but it was a
little bit harder of a foul. I mean,
he grabbed around him.
He got Ivy, caught in no man's land where you're rotating, trying to run him off the 3-point line because you're expecting him to shoot a wide open 3. Good by Milliken. He reads the defense, attacks it, and then you have to kind of grab him so he, doesn't score because he has not missed a shot. It seemed like all game long.
He's missed 4 shots all night, and one of them was blocked. Yeah. So here's Milliken on the inbound pass. Fakes right, goes left. Layup no good.
Probably a
he's
makeup
fouled.
call right there. I mean, obviously, pretty little bit of a hard foul right there, but good move. Look, you jab right, goes up in between 2 defenders, and he's strong enough to not lose the control of the ball to make it look like a legitimate shot, which forces the ref to make a shooting foul call.
Foul goes on Garrett Ivy. At the line, Milliken connects. That was number 3 on Ivy. Ryan Sievers comes back into the game, as well as Austin Finney for the York Dukes. One more free throw coming up for Connor Milliken, the Dort signee.
Where's Dort?
I want to say Kansas, I believe. Maybe no, Iowa, excuse me. Dort, Iowa. Dort is in Iowa.
It's interesting that, where he goes and you see the way he plays. I mean, he's a good player. I don't know why a lot of bigger colleges, unless it's something that he wanted to do to go to a smaller school, wouldn't recruit him. Whether he wanted to play early and felt like this is where he could get on the court and, earn his way into a starting lineup rather quickly. But when you look at the way he scores, obviously, not NBA level, but you definitely would feel comfortable with him playing at the mid-major level as well.
I absolutely agree with you. As now Milliken's going to get fouled by, Ryan Sievers as he was trying to cross the timeline.
Right.
That's going to be number 4 on Sievers.
Yeah, the Sievers got to make sure this is his last game as a senior. He's
Rather
out
third,
but he's playing pretty hard. Good physical play, man. I don't mind that. They got tangled up a little bit. 2 great competitors, and they shake hands afterwards.
So now we have some commotion down low underneath the bucket as a couple bodies hit the hardwood. Mostman in the corner. 3-ball Ezra Stewart, just short. Defensive rebound corralled by Leighton Snodgrass. 1:15 to go, third quarter, 60-38. Platteview with a 22-point lead. Barrett Olson jab steps right, now goes left. Spin move with the elbow. Lost the basketball, and now Ezra Stewart takes it away.
Get
Stewart,
back, though, Big Daddy.
Back the other way we go. Cross court. Draper wanted to shoot the 3, smiled a little bit, and just gave it off to Connor Milliken with 57 to go in the
wants
third.
them to run some motion offense, maybe try to, really run this clock down. What they're probably going to do is try to get a certain amount of lead and get some guys in there that normally don't play.
So now Milliken gets his own miss after the shot was blocked. What an athletic play as Connor Milliken gets his own miss and puts up the layup 62-38. Sievers in the lane, kicks it out. Finney, 3-ball on the way, well short. It goes out of bounds. Saved in bounds by Milliken. Put back is good for Barrett Olson. 62-40 with 25 seconds on the game clock here. I'm sure Milliken and company will just slow it down and play for one shot as Milliken will just chill over here by us and near the timeline.
Coach Brodsky wants a little bit of 1-4 low, one-on-one action there from Milliken.
3-ball Milliken, no good. Finney gets the defensive rebound up the floor. Sievers almost got his pocket pick. Sievers with 2 on the clock in the lane. Now he gets it taken away, and that will signal the end of the third quarter with your score. The 2-seed Platteview on their way to the state title game with a 62-40 lead after 3 quarters of play over the York Dukes. Nick Sander, Jay Foreman coming at you from Pinnacle Bank Arena with the start of the fourth quarter right after this on 93.7 The Ticket.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doane isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doane University today at doane.edu.
Now back to high school basketball on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sainer, Jay Foreman back with you at the start of the fourth quarter. 62-40 is the score between Platteview and York. Make sure you stick around at 6 p.m. It's going to be Bell West and Omaha West Side.
Yeah, it should be
and
a
then
pretty
at
competitive game.
Yeah, and then at 7:45, it'll be Gretna and Miller North coming at you in the nightcap. Jay will join me for the 6 p.m. game. Then Eric Strickland joins me for the 7:45 tip-off. And then all day tomorrow, obviously, state championship basketball coming at you right here on the ticket. So here we are. Milliken left side. Mosman knocks down his defender. No whistle. Now near side. Ezra Stewart in the lane. Dumps it out. Mosman. Right side. Draper. Three ball. It's good. And Garrett Ivy is hurt.
He twisted his ankle. He has an ankle brace on there. It looked like his foot got caught up on the court. He's in some pain. Hopefully he can walk it off. You know what happens, Nick. Sometimes the initial shock of kind of rolling your ankle, they call it the basketball sprain, hurts. But he's a tough competitor. I'm sure he wants to finish out the game. Just got caught up a little bit. Sometimes it happens to the best of them. Kevin Durant rolled his ankles out 2 or 3 weeks in warm-ups.
I saw that.
Yeah, it can happen to the best of them. I rolled my ankle at 93.7 The Ticket, getting ready for my boxing.
All right.
Rolled it, and then I stopped it doing anything athletic from there on out.
Did you roll it when the turf monster got you?
No, that's good. That was Coach Osborne's fault because he made us wear these long cleats. And once I didn't cock my head back, so then the knees didn't get up. And the turf monster,
it was this whole thing.
The turf monster said, "Come here, great interception," but it's an embarrassing moment that everybody's reminding me of, including my co-partner here, Nick Sainer.
Here we are with Sievers. 65-40 fadeaway shot. Ryan Sievers just short. Didn't have enough behind that one.
Ooh.
Last touch by the Platteview Trojans. It'll stay with the York Dukes.
Look, York is still playing. Look, it's hard to say, look, they're down by 25 points, and York, I felt like, outplayed them in the third quarter, but the shooting of Platteview is unmistakably off the chain. They are hot. All four guys are really, really hot. And so it makes a team like York that usually plays pretty good defense and is athletic, it makes them hard to guard because not only is Platteview hot, both going to the hoop, obviously mainly with Milliken, but they're dishing the ball, the spacing. They're strong rebounders. They're running out. They're a well-oiled machine today.
So now right side, here's Platteview. Milliken with it. 7:17 to play, fourth quarter. Pass up the floor.
Great pass, great catch.
Sievert, Mosman in the lane. Floater, wide open, good.
These guys right here, I mean, the efficiency with these guys are playing. You had a guy wide open in the corner. Mosman just went and drove, a little right-hand dribble, floater in the middle of the lane.
So now here's Hudson in the lane. Hudson, layup too strong, no good. Milliken just rips that one away, and he is fouled by Austin Finney. That'll be team foul number 5 on the York Dukes.
When you talk about Milliken, I know he has a slightly torn meniscus, but Snodgrass is 6'5", 225 pounds. You got a well over a 30-inch vertical. Milliken, obviously, with the run and start, got up in the air and took it right away from him. So, look, he's a legit 6'1", because I'm 6'3", and I wanted to see how tall he is.
Yeah.
6 foot at the smallest. When you think about him playing at the mid-major level, the Division II level, it should be a no-brainer. I don't know why. I don't know because he's from Platteview. He doesn't get any looks, or if he doesn't play any summer basketball, homeboy can play the game of basketball, and he's efficient. No fancy stuff, right?
Mid-range jumper there, right on cue, right in front of us. Even dangled the leg a little bit.
If there's a college scout from a bigger school than where he's going at right now watching, which I'm assuming there is at the state tournament, and they probably have heard all about him, you better be getting his social media account or his parents' contact information or him and offering him before somebody else can beat you to it, because he could be I wouldn't say a program changer, but he could definitely be somebody that develops into a pretty special player for 4 years from now.
6:16 to play, fourth quarter, 69-43. Inbound pass near the timeline to Ezra Stewart. Stewart finds Draper wide open three, missed it just off to the left.
Every shot they've taken tonight, you think like, okay, it's in rhythm, and you expect them to make it.
Yeah,
you're actually more surprised that they don't make it.
Yeah, I was surprised after we've seen what Draper has done so far that one doesn't go. Sievers gets fouled by Milliken.
You got to give Sievers credit. He's made it a point to come out in the second half. To obviously, it's his last game. He's obviously a golfing scholarship going to the University of South Dakota. A great all-around athlete. And he has a sister that played at University of Nebraska softball. A really good player in herself, Carly. but I like to see the competitiveness coming. He knows the score. When you go into halftime, you know the score.
Yeah.
Right? But you're saying, you know what, we're going to try to win this second half. And that's really, you talked about the message to your team in the second. That's the only message you can have. We're going to win the second half. Let's try to win the second half. You think we want to win the third quarter. They came out and played their butts off in the third quarter and still were losing by more than they were at halftime.
So Sievers at the line, second free throw good, 69-45 after 2 made free throws by Ryan Sievers. Now Milliken will have it, gets met with a double team, throws it to Ezra Stewart nonchalantly. Now Stewart with it to Milliken. Milliken near the timeline. Now just hanging, Milliken left side, Mosman.
Nick, when you think about Platteview against Scott, it's obviously the battle of opposites, right?
Yeah.
Superior size against superior skill. That's going to be a great game because Milliken can do it all. He isn't going to play scared. And I don't think Scott will be able to take the air out of the ball like they like to. They have got to play with some intensity and some skill to keep up with these guys because look at the passing, look at the catching. You know, one thing I always tell kids, ball handling isn't dribbling.
Yeah.
Ball handling is catching the ball, passing the ball, not fumbling the ball. You never see Platteview fumble the ball. You never see them have bad passes. They're playing really, really well right now.
Yeah. As a nice little 2-point floater by York there, 71-47. Platteview with a big lead. Alley-oop to Ziebert, unable to to convert on it, but unable
York
to
tried
come
to go
down
a little
with
bit
it.
of full-court pressure, which kind of overexposes you to some easy layups, but they're trying everything you can. You got to give them credit. They're trying to force the action. Ivy came back from an ankle injury. The Platteview has continued to play. They're at 73 points. They're going to mess around and end up at 90.
Yeah, layup is good by Ryman Ziebert.
At some point in time, Coach Broski is going to have to empty the bench, and same with Coach Lamberty as well. I mean, it's not waving the white flag, but the reality is you had a great, class of seniors, both schools. Reward some of these guys, to build for the future because this game is well in hand.
So now top of the key near the logo. Milliken directly in front of us here. Crosses over. Milliken in the lane. Kicks it out. Mosman. 3-ball on the way. No good. Rebound goes to Ryan Sievers for York. 3:52 to play fourth quarter. 75-49. Sievers in the lane. Layup good. No good by Riley Clark. And now Riley Clark, and now it goes out of bounds. Last touch by the Platteview Trojans.
Yeah, good job by Sievers there, drawing the double team and tried to dump it off, and it was just that was a snapshot into York's day.
Yeah.
Wide open layup, all the way around the rim, barely rims out. It just could have been. It just wasn't their day. It's not. They played hard, right? They competed, but it just wasn't their day. They ran into a buzzsaw today. And there's nothing you can do about it. And you have to tip your hat to Platteview. They showed up and played way better than they played against Norris last night. They played like the number 2 seed. They're playing like the number 1 seed. I would probably say they've been the most impressive in the first two games in Class B. So I think we're in for a great, great game. And you have Scott, which has ultimate size, and you have Platteview, which has ultimate skill and experience.
Dalton Snodgrass checks in for Garrett Ivy as Ivy, the 6'2" senior, walks off the floor for the final time, hugs Scott Lamberty. At the line for the York Dukes, Barrett Olson, the 6'2" senior. Olson's free throw no good, just short. Milliken grabs the defensive rebound. So now here is Cale Wickman in the lane, kicks it out right side. Top of the key, Wickman. Bounces it right once again. Driving baseline, Platteview stops on the block. Now back out Wickman. Hands it back out to Keegan Stobie. Stobie to Draper. The 5 out there right now, Stobie, Draper, Milliken, Wickman, and number 33, Jaden Pinkerton. 3-ball on the way. Good by Jaden Pinkerton.
Yeah, but I mean, he shot that ball like he knew he was going to make it. I think everybody on that team can shoot.
2:59 to go. Fourth quarter, 78-49. Trojans on top of the York Dukes. As Sievers has it on the top of the key. Bounces it right side. Barrett Olson. Entry pass to Snodgrass. Snodgrass off the glass. No good, but he goes to the line to shoot 2. So 2:46 to go, fourth quarter, 78-49, Platteview over York. Platteview will advance to play the Scott Catholic Skyhawks tomorrow at 1 p.m. in the Class B title game. Make sure you also stick around at the conclusion of this game. We'll have a post-game conversation with Tim Brodsky, the head coach for Platteview. Ask a couple questions, talk to him for a moment as they will eventually shift their focus to the Omaha Scott Catholic Skyhawks.
Right. Yeah, I mean, as Milliken came out, Brodsky told him we got one more in us, and it was a great game by Platteview. You know, scared a little bit by Norris, pulled through it, but then they were able to really have a wake-up call last night and really put a beat down on the York Dukes here. Nothing to be embarrassed about when you're York because they played hard, played well. They just faced a better team tonight, and there was no way what they could do tonight to stop them. You had 5 guys all hitting, and then you got to bring a guy off the bench, and he's hitting threes.
Yeah.
And the way that they were playing defensively and offensively, York would have had to play almost a perfect game, and, they weren't able to do it.
In the lane, layup no good, but going to line to shoot 2 shots will be Taryn Riley. Foul goes on Snodgrass, his second on Layton. So at the line to shoot 2, Taryn Riley.
Yeah, like when you look at York, they lose Ivy, you lose Finney, you lose Olson, but you bring back Hudson. You lose Severs as well, but you bring back Snodgrass. See Carter Stinger in there. You lose, obviously, Dalton Snodgrass. So you got a little bit good mix of sophomores and juniors that's going to be able to come back next year and maybe make another title run. Platteview obviously loses all 5 of their players besides Zebert is a senior, and so that's where you think of the experience to come back against Norris, a young freshman-led team, come back against a York team that doesn't have the skill to say Platteview. These guys have been seniors and played together for quite some time.
A charge is drawn by number 11, Josh Turco, on the dribble drive there for Platteview. So York will take over the possession with 2:18 to play in the fourth quarter. 78-51, Platteview with the 27-point lead over York.
Yeah, if you're York here, you understand where you're at. You understand you're down by 27 points. And if I'm, Coach Lamberty over there, I'm trying to get everybody in the game. There's nothing you can do right now.
Turco pulls a 3. It's air ball, and it'll be saved in bounds into the hands of the Platteview Trojans. So now up the floor we go. Platteview going back the other way. Cross-court pass into the near side. 3-ball. Pinkerton bounces around the rim a couple of times. Off. Too strong in the offensive rebound to Platteview. Left side, 3-ball on the way. A little bit of a line drive shot, and guess what? Platteview gets another stab at it.
Long
Pinkerton
shots, long
right
rebounds, and the quickness of Platteview is obviously was showing when the starters was in. Nothing's changed when the reserves came in as well.
So now top of the key, 3-ball on the way. Off to the right, no dice, and it'll be out of bounds. Last touch by the Platteview Trojans after the missed 3-pointer by Jackson Adams. So now more reserves coming into the game. 1:33 to play. Fourth quarter, 78-51. Platteview leads the 6th seed, the York Dukes.
Yeah, this is the first game that we've done, Nick, that's been a true blowout, but it's a buzzsaw.
Yeah.
It's not like York played bad. They didn't play hard or something like that. They played actually pretty good, right on par with the way they played last night, but it just wasn't enough. And Platteview really had a wake-up call against a young Norris team. Took the lead at the end of the game where experience came into it, really used it as a wake-up call, and then when they showed up today, they looked like a totally different team. And that's hard to say that they're the number 2 seed, right, with a great scorer, the all-time scorer in Class B. They were just on point tonight.
Yes, now top of the key here is Platteview. 3-ball on the way. Pinkerton rattles around and out. Offensive rebound putback is good by number 23, Jackson Adams, a 6'3" sophomore.
Yeah, they got some young guys out here for Platteview that look like they're going to be pretty special here in years to come. Where you talk about, Jackson Adams and some of these young guys coming in Pinkerton, they're getting some quality playing time here.
So how about this stat line for Connor Milliken? 31 points, 15 rebounds, 4 steals, and 2 blocks.
Yeah, and the numerous amount of assists. That's one thing. When you look at his averages, he averages 10 rebounds a game. So he's not a guy that sits out there on the perimeter and kind of does this thing. He would play the same way here in the state championship or state quarter or semifinal or in the YMCA club basketball. He'll play the same way in college.
So it is 80-54. As on the right side, here's Platteview, top of the key, Pinkerton, left side, 3-ball on the way. Just a little short, and now rebound will carry him out where it's collected by Carter Stanger, and he'll bring it across the timeline. Stanger in the lane. Jumper no good. Rebound by Platteview. Up the floor. It's going to be saved in bounds, and now Platteview will be able to hold this one out. There's the horn, and the Platteview Trojans are going to the Class B state title game where they will face off with the Omaha Catholic Skyhawks. Don't go anywhere. In just a moment, we will have head coach Tim Brodsky of Platteview on the show, or excuse me, on the broadcast to answer a couple questions on Plattview's dominating win, 80-54 over the York Dukes, right here on 93.7 The Ticket.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basements with supreme waterproofing and exact concrete leveling for residential or commercial clients. They service wet basements, leaky walls, damp crawl spaces, bowing or cracked bricks or drywall, and more. Whether you're in Southeast Nebraska, the Tri-Cities area, or Northeast Kansas, they'll easily make the trip to you. Get a free evaluation today by visiting WeFixBasements.com or call 402-804-1024. F Foundation Repair. We fix basements.
At Doane University, you can play a sport you love and also receive a world-class education. You'll learn leadership skills on and off the court that will set you up for success long after graduation. Doane isn't a place where you get lost. It's a place to get found, and it's a place where your future is uniquely yours. Learn more about the endless possibilities at Doane University today at doane.edu.
Basketball fans know assists are crucial to winning. The skill of setting up others is an art, and one Nebraskan team that takes art to a new level is Platte Valley Equipment. Their team always sets you up for land care success with sound advice and John Deere equipment. Platte Valley also always delivers low monthly payments. That's one assist, that's a slam dunk. Visit PlatteValleyEquipment.com today, proud sponsor of the 2023 NSAA Boys and Girls High School State Basketball Tournament.
Where will your path take you, traveler? To seek fortune in a new career? Or on a journey to distant lands for a well-deserved vacation? Wherever you go, one distraction could spell disaster. You can change your fate, adventurer. Don't drive distracted. Paid for by the NDOT Highway Safety Office.
You don't think about your roof very often, but you should never take it for granted. Roofing Service Company takes every measure to provide you with the highest quality roofing solution. Whether it's a new roof installation, roof repair, or a re-roofing project, their overall goal is to provide you with a pleasant experience and a long-lasting roof. If you have a need for siding or gutters, they're your place too. Visit roofingservicecompany.com for more info today.
Hey, it's Nicklin Hames from Nebraska Volleyball. I hate wasting time in practice, and I want to help you stop wasting your time when you're looking for an electrician. High Electric has been serving the area for over 30 years for both residential and commercial properties. They are experts in everything like remodeling, new additions, hot tub installation, and more. And they take jobs from Beatrice to Omaha and all towns, big or small, in between. Call them today at 402-466-6606 or learn more at high-electric.com.
Hey, Joe, check out my new ride. Pretty awesome, huh?
Whoa, that's a sweet convertible. You didn't win this on a game show, right?
Nope, this is all me and my pals at Members Own Credit Union.
Oh yeah, they're the people with the great auto loan rates.
And right now, everyone who transfers or gets a new auto loan has the chance to win a $1,000 gas gift card, too.
Well, you know what this means.
Road trip! Fuel your adventure with an auto loan from Members Own. Restrictions apply. Go to membersowncu.org for details.
What does continuing education mean to you? At Southeast Community College, it means helping you advance. Whether that's a certification to help your current career or learning an entirely new career in healthcare, trades and industry, or computers and technology, SCC can help you take the next step. Financial assistance is available too. Learn more about our continuing ed classes at southeast.edu/continuing education. SCC, your path to personal and professional development.
Now back to high school basketball on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Nick Sander back with you guys as we have closed out the second Class B semifinal, and it is an 80-54 dominating win for the Platteview Trojans. We're now joined by the head coach of Platteview, Tim Brodsky. Coach, congratulations. I mean, just a dominating performance from start to finish. I mean, what allowed you guys to have such a convincing win today?
Well, I mean, I watched the York Scotts Bluff game yesterday, and York gets up and down. They shoot the ball, and we knew we had to guard them, and we knew we had to rebound. And I thought the first half, that was probably some of the best defense and rebounding that we've had all year. And once we have that, then we can get out and transition. And we've got some kids that can shoot the ball. And, we look a lot better when those go in. But, our kids played well today.
I mean, you're used to Connor Milliken obviously producing. And a lot of our listeners are just starting to find out about him and starting to hear about him. What makes him so special? But then also on top of that, how much more of a threat is it when Trey and Draper and the rest of your guys are shooting it well?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Connor can be guarded one-on-one. He's just a phenomenal player. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's playing on a torn meniscus right now, but his game is getting downhill, and he shot it well here the last couple of days. And once teams collapse, the kick to Trey, kick to AD, and those guys both can shoot the ball. And once those guys are rolling, they're tough to stop.
Last one before we let you go, head coach Tim Brodsky of Platteview joining us after their 80-54 win in the semifinal against the York Dukes. You guys now have a matchup with Scott tomorrow afternoon. I mean, they are a lengthy, tall team. I mean, what are you guys going to have to do to get your first state title in school history? I forgot to mention that part.
Yeah, I think this is the first time we've ever been to the state title game to begin with. But Scott, I mean, they're an amazing team. They're big. They've got, college basketball players, and their length will bother us. So we're going to have to watch some film tonight and come up with the game plan. And, I think they're going to have to guard us too, and so I think their bigs are going to have to come out, but we're going to have to find a game plan and watch them, again, like I said, watch them film and see what we can do to stop their inside game.
That's Plattview's head coach Tim Brodsky after their 80-54 win against the York Dukes here in the Class B semifinal. Coach, appreciate it as always. We'll definitely see you guys tomorrow. Good luck.
Thanks.
There is Coach Tim Brodsky. Once again, York falls 80-54 to the Platteview Trojans here in the Class B semifinal game. We'll go ahead and we can bring Jay Foreman back into here. Jay, I mean, final thoughts on this one. Connor Milliken finishes with 31 points and 15 rebounds, 4 steals, 2 blocks. I mean, you can go on and on about him, but this was really a complete effort.
Yeah, Coach Brodsky he's going to be feeling really good about himself and his team. Pure domination led by Milliken, but then all the partners in crimes that, had good games as well. Like I said, I think they adjusted after yesterday or against Norris, and I think they really showed what type of team they are today.
Then once again, final score 80-54. The Platteview Trojans get the win. They advance to their first appearance in the state title game in school history, trying to get to their hoist that trophy for the first time as well. Tomorrow afternoon, they'll advance to play Scott Catholic, the number 1 seed, at 1 p.m. tomorrow here at PBA. That'll do it for us for a while. We're going to have a brief intermission here as we turn our attention to the Class A semis, where Bellevue West goes up against Omaha West Side at 6 p.m. And then at 7:45 in the nightcap, it's going to be Gretna and Miller North coming at you on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Once again, your final score, the Platteview Trojans 80, the York Dukes 54. For Jay Foreman, I'm Nick Sanders saying so long for now from Pinnacle Bank Arena here on Semifinal Friday.
Are you worried about storm damage causing issues with your basement? F Foundation Repair fixes basement